Hey guys, welcome to this first edition of the Far Post. I'm Brian, alongside Ryan, and on this show we're going to be talking about all things soccer, from Major League Soccer to the U.S. men's and women's national team to other soccer leagues around the world.
Yeah, guys, this is the show that we're really excited about. Me and Brian have been talking about this for a long time, and we really feel like there's a need for a show like this. We feel like there's a lot of you guys out there that do like Major League Soccer, that do follow the U.S. team, but there's really not that much content on the internet, on YouTube, and different places like that. So we really wanted to bring you guys this show. We're going to be doing it on a weekly basis. We're going to be trying to upload every Monday, so definitely look out for that. But specifically in this episode, we're going to be talking about 2015 and what it holds for U.S. soccer. But before we get into some of those things, we wanted to talk about some transfer rumors, right, Brian?
Yeah, and right now the big news out of LA and the big news out of Liverpool and around the world has been the recent signing of Steven Gerrard to the LA Galaxy for an 18-month, about $6 million a year contract. And this is a huge player, a legend in England for the English national team, for Liverpool, almost 500 caps. Just in Premier League play alone for Mr. Gerrard. So this is great for the LA Galaxy, the defending MLS Cup champions.
Absolutely, Brian. Steven Gerrard is truly a legend at Anfield, and the fact that he's coming to MLS, I'm ecstatic about it. And I really think he's going to be able to slot in perfectly for Landon Donovan. I mean, Landon Donovan might play a little bit more far up than him at times. Kind of he plays that second striker, center forward role. But he's also been known to drop back into the midfield as a center attacking mid where he feeds Robbie Keane and they kind of build off each other. And I really think that Steven Gerrard can successfully step into this position, and obviously has a great team he's going to with Bruce Arena and all the players surrounding him right now.
All the players surrounding him, that's right. It really is a great organization right now in Major League Soccer. Probably, they are the star organization right now, and adding Steven Gerrard, they can easily defend their title from last year. And he's a guy who really wants to be here in Major League Soccer. He's a guy he's bringing his family over. He stated various times in the past about the league and how he's heard things. He's played alongside David Beckham for the national team. He's played alongside Robbie Keane, who right now is the defending MVP of Major League Soccer and is also the striker for the LA Galaxy. So Steven Gerrard knows what it takes, and I really think he's motivated to come over here and make an impact in MLS. What do you think, Ryan?
He's definitely poised to make an impact. I mean, obviously, 27 years at Liverpool. He established himself as a legend. He's won just about everything you could win over in Europe, but he hasn't won anything in North America. He wants a new challenge. He's not one of those players that's going to come over here and think of the MLS as a retirement league.
He's not Jermaine Defoe.
Jermaine Defoe. I don't even know where to begin with him. He can get his ass back to where is he going? Leicester, right? Leicester City, yeah.
Jermaine Defoe, pack your bags, get out of here. I know MLS is frustrated with you. You're frustrated because you didn't make the English team last year. Well, guess what? MLS wasn't for you because you weren't fully invested in MLS. We saw right through your BS. So go back to Leicester, go back to the Premier League or Championship or wherever you're going to get relegated.
I'm sure they'll get relegated, yeah. And they're one of the bottom teams. So
more on to more important figures right now, which is Steven Gerrard. A guy like we were saying is going to be in the MLS. He's here for keeps. He's here to improve this league, and that's why we're Steven Gerrard fans right now, and we're looking forward to having him.
Absolutely, Brian. And in addition to Steven Gerrard, there's a few names that have been linked with MLS recently, and not so much with LA, but actually a little bit north of the border. And I'm sure some of you guys know I'm talking about actually Jozy Altidore, formerly of the Metro Stars or New York Red Bulls. And there's actually a few teams that he's been linked with, obviously the Toronto FC, Portland Timbers, and the New York Red Bulls. But at this point, it seems that the New York Red Bulls aren't really so interested, and that might be because of the price tag that he's really asking.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, Brian. Yeah. It's $5 or $6 million a year, and in addition, Sunderland are probably going to want to recoup the majority of the transfer fee that they paid for Altidore back in 2013, which was close to $10 million. So it's a big investment for a player who really hasn't been performing recently.
He has not been performing well recently or with Sunderland. A guy looking right now, 47 caps and only one goal. Another goal in FA Cup action. But, a guy like him could be great. Again, 25 years old, U.S. men's team veteran, a guy that Jurgen Klinsmann has a lot of confidence in, and a guy that the MLS really could use north of the border with Toronto, teaming up with Gilberto and Michael Bradley. That duo, Michael Bradley and Altidore, has worked before on the national stage. So hopefully and possibly, if this deal can work out, they might work for Toronto FC.
It could work with Toronto, and obviously Toronto with huge signings of Gilberto, Michael Bradley, Jermaine Defoe recently, who we just spoke on. They obviously have the deep pockets, and they're obviously willing to dish out the cash to get these players. And it seems like they're the only ones willing to entertain Altidore's asking price. But if he does come to MLS, I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't see it as a step back. I still think his best years still could be ahead of him. He's still a fairly young player. Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of these players, especially now with modern, nutrition and fitness, and the facilities in the MLS are improving, and we have in the United States we always have had the best facilities in the world. This guy, Jozy Altidore, could be in his prime until he's 32, 33. I mean, look at Robbie Keane. The guy's doing it right now, and I wouldn't say he's in his prime, but he's defending MLS MVP, and you could look at Jozy Altidore as possibly being a figure like that.
Absolutely, Brian. I mean, Robbie Keane comes over to LA Galaxy, 3 championships in 4 years. You can't argue with numbers like that. And one individual who was pretty close to bringing a team to an MLS Cup.
Well, let me say,
never seen anything before.
You might know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And a little prelude to this. This guy right here, Ryan, is a huge fan. Blood, sweat, and tears for the New York Red Bulls, season ticket holder. Your family, this past Christmas, even bought the Bradley Wright Phillips T-shirts.
Yes, it was the BWP from the Tifo. I think it was near the end of the season. It might have been the first playoff game against Sporting Kansas City. The Tifo from the South Ward that was honoring him as the 27 goal scorer. They actually kind of dubbed the BMW logo. It was pretty cool. My family actually all got the T-shirts for Christmas.
That being said, they're huge fans. He's a huge fan, season ticket holder. And, I want to ask you personally, possibly you can shed some light on this for some closure maybe for all these Red Bull fans out there or MLS fans. What did Mike Petke mean to you? What did Mike Petke mean to this organization? And what did he mean to the MLS?
Well, Brian, I can't even express into words just how surprised and extremely disappointed in new sporting director Ali Curtis I am. Who does this man think he is to come in and sack Michael Petke, an MLS lifer, over 160 appearances with the Metro Stars and the Red Bulls? What does he do in his first 2 years? The first year, he brings this team to the 2013 Supporters Shield, the first ever silverware in club history. And the very next year, he brings them to the Eastern Conference Final. 2 of the most impressive consecutive years in club history, and now he's out of a job. Brian, it just doesn't make sense to me.
It really doesn't make sense, and it's not a smart move for Major League Soccer, especially with all this controversy recently surrounding Lampard and dissatisfied fans in New York City FC. Now there's dissatisfied fans in New Jersey with the New York Red Bulls. So that whole region right there looks like they're a little bit upset. And for the growth of this league, a young MLSer, a guy who we like to call them MLSers, a guy who's grown with the league, a guy who's been here. He knows the ins and outs of what it takes to be successful in Major League Soccer. So really a bold move, a bad move in my opinion right now in the present for this New York Red Bulls team.
Yeah, I think it's a bad move. I mean, I'm really upset right now. The new sporting director, Ali Curtis, says that he has a vision for the team. We want answers.
What do you want to tell Ali Curtis right now? What do you want to say to Ali Curtis? As an upset, dissatisfied, disgruntled Red Bulls fan, season ticket holder, what do you want to say to him?
I want to know why, Brian. I want to know why now. I want to know why he waited for the majority of season ticket holders to renew their season tickets before he chose to do this. And I know that you guys probably have a lot of questions you'd like to ask him as well. And actually, they're going to be giving us a forum to do that. How much transparency they're going to be giving in their answers, I don't know. What I'm actually talking about is the recently announced town hall meeting, which is pretty much unheard of in any sports franchise I've ever heard of. And what they're going to be doing is there's going to be new head coach Jesse Marsh, who I think is very unproven, Ali Curtis, the sporting director, and also general manager Marc de Grand Prix. They're all going to be there at Red Bull Arena on January 16th, I believe. And this is going to be an open forum that's available for the first 300 Red Bull season ticket holders to apply for this. They'll be able to ask questions about the management and the staffing changes that we made. Obviously, Michael Petke.
Yeah, Ryan. And I'm excited for you to possibly attend that and for you to maybe ask a couple questions. If any of you guys are viewers out there, if you are lucky enough to catch this first segment and you are inspired enough to ask some questions for Mr. Ali, leave a comment and Ryan can get back to you possibly with an answer, because I'm sure he's going to address Ali and the Red Bulls family right now. But moving right along, we're gonna go on to the Gold Cup, which is up and coming in 2015. We told you that we're gonna bring you in this episode the latest and news from Major League Soccer and international soccer. And this upcoming season internationally, we have the Gold Cup this summer, which is huge. It's a huge tournament for this U.S. men's national team, a young squad. Jurgen Klinsmann, who wants to develop a squad for the 2018 World Cup, and young guys, which could be featured. The names of Ruben Rubio, if that's
Rubio Ruben. The
Rubio
R's.
Ruben. The R's kind of messing with me right now.
Yeah.
Bobby Wood, who we've seen in past international play. Greg Garza, Emerson Hyman, and my favorite, I love this guy, really young talent, great young talent, Joe Zhao. So what do you want to shed some light on that, Ryan, on this upcoming Gold Cup?
Yeah, I think 2015 in general, and of course the Gold Cup really is a pivotal year for United States men's national team, just because this is the beginning of the next World Cup cycle. This is where we finally recovered from 2014. Yes, we had a good World Cup. We got out of the group of death, and a lot of people didn't think we'd be able to do that. And then we played so competitively with this Belgium team. And I think 2018 really is the point where we want to be peaking. This is the point when United States Soccer enlisted or hired Jurgen Klinsmann. They expected 2018 to be the year where we finally made a deep run. And I think a lot of us are thinking the same thing. So that obviously starts with 2015, and it starts with some of these young guys that Brian's been mentioning.
Well said, and I think we're on track right now. Look at our past success, getting out of the group of death, advancing and facing off against a really tough Belgian team who a lot of people consider to be the dark horse of this past World Cup in Brazil.
To win it.
Win it. And, yeah, they dominated us at times. They dominated possession, but, Jurgen Klinsmann had this roster ready to go, working hard. He had a lot of young players on this roster and a lot of guys who can prove themselves and possibly make the 2018 squad. This Gold Cup will feature other CONCACAF teams which you've seen in the past, and you'll keep on seeing, which, the likes of Panama, Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Guatemala, others which we've seen in the past. So it's going to be a great, great tournament, a lot to look out for, and a lot to be said for this young U.S. team.
Yeah, I think specifically it's going to be interesting to see how the U.S. stacks up against some of these recently promoted CONCACAF heavyweights who have performed so well in the World Cup, with obviously Mexico making the run into the round of 16. And they were just a couple minutes away from actually going through to the quarterfinals against the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they had those 2 late goals. And then Costa Rica as well, who made it to the quarterfinals. So it's just really going to be interesting to see where everything shakes up and if we are still the kings of CONCACAF.
And right now we're really not. Current rankings are 27th for the U.S. team.
Yeah.
I mean, do those matter? They do. Jurgen Klinsmann obviously likes to use it as a moot point. It's something the team can look at because I personally think that we're better than Costa Rica right now. Mexico, has really developed, under this new head coach. They really are a team, a force. So, we can prove ourselves in this upcoming Gold Cup. And, all you MLS fans, all you international soccer fans, even if you're not from the United States and you're watching this segment from any other country around the world, tune in. It's great soccer in the CONCACAF, and it's really a region that's up and coming, and it has a lot to prove.
Definitely, Brian. And one last point about the Gold Cup and why it's pivotal for CONCACAF, because the winner of this, well, if it is the United States, if the United States wins, they will actually automatically qualify for the 2017 Confederations Cup, which is going to be held in Russia the year prior to the World Cup. And if another team wins, they'll actually go to a playoff. So it'd be just really nice to see the U.S. be able to lock this up so early.
And with Russia being, a tough place, a lot of turmoil over there right now, for the U.S. team to get over there a year early and play this Confederations Cup, get used to the stadiums over there, get acclimated to the reception they're going to receive, because it might not really be a great reception over there for this team, depending on what's happening globally by 2018 or 2017 in the Confederations Cup case. So right now, though, moving along, we do want to talk about the USL Pro Affiliation right now with Major League Soccer. When we speak of the USL Pro, Ryan and I being here at the University of Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, we've gone to some Pittsburgh Riverhounds games who are affiliated with the Houston Dynamo. Great level of play. So Ryan, you want to shed more light on that?
Yeah, definitely, Brian. So obviously 2015, the MLS has mandated that all MLS teams have an affiliation in some way or another with the USL Pro team. And this can be through a partnership, kind of like the Riverhounds and the Houston Dynamo, or an MLS team can also launch a second team in USL Pro. And we obviously saw this last year with LA Galaxy 2. And in 2015, there's a number of clubs that are also doing this, launching a second team, such as New York Red Bulls, Seattle Sounders, and Portland Timbers, just to name a few of them.
Yeah, and a lot of these USL Pro teams have been very successful. We've seen successful players go through the ranks of USL Pro. A lot of guys right now who are notable names there: Jose Villarreal, Jack McBean, and LA Galaxy too. A guy being a Philadelphia Union fan, a guy like Jack McInerney who played with the Harrisburg City Islanders, got his start with Harrisburg City, and a lot of guys use the USL Pro as a stepping stone, as somewhere to go to after their time in NCAA soccer from the MLS draft. So it's a great place to foster talent and a great place for business and talent to collide, because it's really important for MLS squads to keep their players in the MLS, to keep them in the USL Pro, so that they don't lose money from these greater, bigger, and better clubs all around the world.
Yeah, Brian, I think one of the problems in the past really has been that there might be players that are either making the jump from the college level to MLS or the youth academy to the first team. And a lot of these players, they might not quite be ready to be playing with the first team, and they have signed first team contracts, but they're not getting the minutes they want. They're not getting the experience that they want. They might only be getting just a couple caps in, say, a US Open Cup match, or maybe just one or two competitive appearances for a couple minutes at the end of an MLS game. And a lot of these players have become disillusioned by the fact that they're not getting minutes. And in the past, before this partnership, they'd seek other opportunities to say, hey, I'm not getting minutes. I need to go to Liga MX. I need to go to a lower tier league in Europe. And now with this new partnership, they have the opportunity to play for the lower level team, stay in the club, stay in the system, and develop until they're ready to move up to the first team.
Exactly, Ryan. So it's big things. The USL Pro is really pivotal for the growth of domestic soccer here in the United States, along with the other lower tiers and Major League Soccer, which we're always excited to see grow, and this is definitely going to help in the long run for U.S. soccer. But right now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss more of what is to come in 2015. But we want to hand you off to our correspondent, Dustin, who will be showing you guys the clip of the week.
Enjoy, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Dustin here with your Far Post clip of the week. Each week during this segment, I'll get up and watch videos you, the viewers, requested and react to it live. So send your clips and links to farpostcotw@gmail.com. The address should be in the description below. This week, I'll leave you with a clip from the U20 Mexican national team for this great goal setting.
Estaba tratando de apretar en la marcación Torres, el desborde, el servicio, el cabezazo.
Thanks, Dustin. But welcome back to the Far Post. Right now, we're going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about expansion teams. These new and upcoming teams here in the MLS, the ones that are causing a lot of controversy but excitement at the same time. And those two teams being Orlando City SC and New York City FC.
Yeah, Brian, we'll start off with Orlando. Obviously, they made a huge splash by signing that multi-million-dollar DP contract with superstar Kaká. And although he might not be the FIFA player of the world anymore, he still has a little bit of that magic left in him. And he's going to be able to feed that young Honduran striker. What was his name?
Brian Roche.
Brian Roches, yeah. And they also signed center backs Arain Khan and Amugi Akugo. So they have their two center backs, they have their attacking mid, they have their striker. They have the basis for their team. And so far, they're looking pretty good.
And they have their stadium right now, which is about like 63,000 capacity. Not their stadium they're going to end up in. They have a soccer-specific stadium that's going to be approved in sometime in the future. But the Citrus Bowl is ready to go, newly renovated, really a great place, and has held some events in the past. So Adrian Heath at the helm for this team. Look to see them not really run the table, but a very successful team in the Eastern Conference this upcoming MLS season.
Yeah, Brian, I definitely see them as a successful team. Obviously, the MLS playoffs are expanding, that 6 teams are actually going to be making the playoffs this year. So I definitely see them in one of those 6 spots. And they have a great fan base supporting them. And in a couple of years, they will have a soccer-specific stadium. And in a couple of years, the other expansion team that recently joined MLS will definitely not have a soccer-specific stadium. And no one really knows exactly how long it will be. And, of course, I'm talking about New York City FC.
Really controversial.
Extremely controversial. They're going to be playing in Yankee Stadium indefinitely at this point.
Yeah, the team coached by Jason Kreis, who's obviously one of those young guys like your beloved Mike Petke, but a guy that really has had a lot of experience with Real Salt Lake, controversial, fiery character. He can't be happy about this. I'm not happy about this as a fan of Major League Soccer. I know that a lot of including the 11,000 season ticket holders who purchased their season tickets right away. A guy like David Villa, who's joined this team and really wants to run with this squad, he has to right now be questioning what's going on with the City Football Group, who owns 80% of New York City FC, that being Manchester City. So there's a lot has to come in play here. And a guy like Frank Lampard isn't going to be with the squad until the summer months, which is, quite frankly, for him, it's going to be tiring.
It's going to be extremely tiring. Obviously, what's known as the Lampard Gate among the MLS soccer community right now. For those of you that don't know, originally he had said that he had signed with New York City FC, went on loan with Manchester City, and that's what he's been doing right now. But as it turns out, as revealed by both clubs on December 31st of 2014, both clubs revealed that he never actually was in fact signed with MLS, and he's actually going to be staying with Manchester City through June. So he's going to have some tired legs. I think his birthday might be even June. So he's going to be almost 37 years old by the time he comes to MLS.
Yeah, 37 is very old, and the likes of Thierry Henry just retired after his final year in MLS, and a guy who played in the twilight of his career. So he's old. He's a legend. He's performing right now with Man City, but we'll see what he can do with New York City FC in these upcoming months. But right now, we're going to move on to a new segment, that being something Ryan and I have been recently talking about incorporating. Very excited about that. And that is the League of the Week. Of course, we'll be bringing you the newest and latest news from around the world in soccer each and every Monday. But this week, we're going to focus on the League of Ireland, formerly known as the Airtricity League. A league. Little background information, was founded in 1920. Currently, there are 20 teams in this Premier League in Ireland, 2 divisions. Dundalk being the defending champions domestically in Ireland, while Shamrock Rovers have been the most successful club. A lot of fans over in Ireland, great passion for the game. Obviously, there's other sports in Ireland like Irish hurling. But it's really something, a flight of soccer that has really taken off. So a lot to be said about this league.
Yeah, definitely, Brian. And among the country of Ireland and the people there, our league, our domestic league, Major League Soccer, is actually very popular amongst them, at least amongst the people that I have talked to. Both Brian and myself, we've been to Europe. Brian actually did an internship abroad in Berlin this past summer, and I actually studied in Barcelona. And both of us made it to Ireland. We both have some Irish heritage in ourselves, so we figured we had to get there at some point. And we talked to a lot of Irish people, and a lot of them are very, very big fans of Major League Soccer and follow it quite frequently. And I'm thinking that this has something to do with an announced friendly that's actually coming up in February. On February 21st, LA Galaxy is actually going to be headed to Dublin, and they're going to be playing Shamrock Rovers.
Really exciting stuff. The most successful team in Ireland playing the most successful team here in the United States at Croke Park, which, if you don't know about Croke Park, it's a legendary park in Ireland. I'm sure it'll draw tons of fans awaiting the arrival and the homecoming of the national treasure in Ireland, Robbie Keane. And I know, he's very excited to go back to Ireland and perform in front of his hometown and fans, various fans of all ages. So exciting stuff for Major League Soccer with the expansion franchises, and exciting stuff for the LA Galaxy and the League of Ireland. So really a lot of stuff here that can be talked about. And but right now we're going to take some time because Dustin is back at it, and he's going to be giving you the stoppage time picks of the week predictions for these upcoming fixtures. Take it away, Dustin.
Thanks, Brian. This is Dustin here with your stoppage time picks of the week. Tuesday, I got West Ham over Everton in FA Cup. I got Valencia over Espanyol in Spanish Copa del Rey. That's King's Cup for you unilinguists out there. Wednesday, I got China over Uzbekistan in everybody's favorite, the ever-captivating, pace-blistering AFC Asian Cup. I got Spurs over Burnley in FA Cup action. Thursday, I got more Copa del Rey fever going for you. Going to go out on a limb here and take Real over Atletico and Barça over Etche. You heard it here first, folks. Friday, my obscure pick of the week. I got Heart of Midlothian over Rangers FC in Scottish Championship, the Scottish Second League. Closer to home, I got America over Tijuana. Saturday, big EPL action. I got Liverpool over Aston Villa, Crystal Palace over Burnley, Stoke over Leicester, United over QPR, the Blues over the Swans, Spurs over Sunderland, and Newcastle over Southampton. Sunday,
Dusty's Firecracker Game of the Week. City vs. Arsenal in the Etihad. Frankie Lamps just invoked a curse on City with his faux signing. Football gods are not pleased with you, Mr. Lampard. The Guns take it 2-1.
Thanks, Dustin, for those picks. And thanks again for everyone for tuning in for our very first episode. We really hope you guys enjoyed, and we look forward to seeing you here next week on the Far Post.
Guys, remember to subscribe to us on YouTube as well as follow us on Twitter. And look again next Monday because we'll be coming right back at you with the newest edition of the Far Post. Thanks for watching.